Hey, how's it going? This is Mr. Rose himself, and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be tackling a challenge, drawing dogs. I haven't drawn dogs in a very long time, but instead of just drawing dogs, we're going to draw dogs with a twist. We're going to draw one normal golden retriever, then we're going to draw a second with a little bit of character. We're going to add ourselves to it and really do it the Rose way. The goal is for me to challenge myself, but also for you guys to be entertained and find something that you can learn in the process of making this video. So let's get started. Whether you're in art tutorial videos or not, you want to subscribe to this channel, alright? Whoa. Rose, bro, what's up with you? Relax. Ain't that serious. You're making us look unprofessional. Hey guys, I'm sorry, this is Johnny, and what my brother meant to say was, if you're really into art tutorials, breaking things down, tips and tricks, and also making money off your art, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you smash the notification bell. Mr. Rose, relax, man. You didn't have to go that hard. Just chill. Alright, let's keep the video going. I have not drawn a dog in so long. They're actually one of my top 5 favorite animals, but I don't really practice them as much as I should have. Trust me, I definitely should have been working on them more because the very first take did not come out the way I wanted it to. And I don't know if it was a lack of practice, understanding of the anatomy of the dog, or just because it wasn't something that I was overly focused on. I think I was more in love with the idea of what I was doing versus what I was actually working on. Because of this, I had to reach out to one of my fellow creators. She actually sent me back a file and I clicked on it, and this is what you see.
Let's just start. Okay, so when it comes to the muzzle, his mouth is a little fat, so I kind of trimmed him up. He looks like he would be a golden retriever or a Labrador, and a yellow one at that. So what I did was I kind of broadened his face, and I broadened his ears a little bit, made him a little bit more fluffier. When it comes to his front left or right paw or shoulder, I kind of, how could I say it? What I wanted to do was make it not as broad, but like I wanted his fur to kind of come in front of it. I don't know if I did it right, but yeah. And then when it comes to the feet have bones that make it look like it's going up. Like, I guess, like if they were to press it on the floor, their hands would be kind of curled. So I drew kind of like some definition in the paws. And then when it comes to his back, I would give him more length because he is a lab, so it would give him, it seemed like his body would be more shaped, and so I pushed it out a little bit more. And then his kneecap would be closer to where his elbow is, so I drew that. And his foot would be more so facing to the side, and same with his other foot, it would be facing to the side. And then of course you want to see his tail, so I kind of drew like a cute little tail. And then also one more thing, when it comes to his eyes, they would be closer to the bridge of his nose. So yeah, that's what I see, and you can just whatever you think. It's all fair game, but this is what I saw. I pray that this helps. All right, boo, do your thing.
Right after, I felt inspired and I said, let me try this again. And then what happened was she sent another draft of something, so I clicked on it. And then you see this. So that happened. Now I'm thinking to myself, you sent me 2 different designs. They came out very well. And like, are you trying to play me? Like, you thought you was gonna like outdraw me during my own video? My video? I want you to know, if you ever, Grace, if you ever, think you can outdraw moi, we can do an art battle anytime, any place, anytime. New York versus New York. Cause I'm willing, ready, and willing. Thought you was gonna come in here with the sweet voice and really gonna just like draw on top of my drawings and make it look better. Cause I'm willing, ready, and willing. You thought you was gonna just come up here, start drawing all nice after I start making this video. It take me hours, and you think you just gonna just outdo me? No. Woosah. I guess mom really didn't adopt Rose. I guess he ain't the only crazy person in the family. Alright, so what had happened was, we realized the dogs that I was designing were a little slim. Looked like they didn't really eat much, They ate maybe once every 2 days instead of once or twice a day. So we went over them and she showed me the examples of what we can do better. The first thing you want to tackle when you're drawing a dog is definitely the head. Because it's a little bigger than the body, the proportion of a dog, it's not like a human or other creatures. So you start off with a strong circle for the head. So you start placing the eyes, making sure that they're level. Then you go to the nose and you make sure that the mouth and the ears are accurate and they look like the type of breed of dog that you want them to. Remember, there's so many different breeds of dogs, so make sure that you have an idea of what you want your dog to look like before you start. I think my issue in the first take was I had an understanding of my dog, but I was trying to add a little too much and it just didn't go the right direction. Remember, dogs are something that are actually real, so people have a vivid understanding of what they look like. So make sure that you take the time to understand the reference that you'll have and how to execute that design. What I also want to do is make sure I drew a more of a futuristic kind of dog. A dog that maybe, if this was a post-apocalypse, it had like a metal limb or it had like a specialized book bag, because you want to be able to draw a dog at different times. Learning how to augment something or learning how to make small adjustments will definitely help you make sure that your characters feel grounded in the world that they're in. You do not want to have a futuristic story, but everything looks exactly the same. Whether the future is better or worse, remember, you're the cameraman, the author, the writer, you're the person designing this world. Make sure it makes sense and it's cohesive. Now, if something's different in your world versus the normal world, understandable, but make sure that it follows that rule or that guideline. And when you break that rule or guideline, it's for a good reason. The challenge about this was really understanding the fur and making sure that the fur felt like it wasn't just flat. And what I mean by that is dogs have such large coats of fur. You have to really understand you can't draw every strand. You can't really do that when you don't have a realistic style. You have to draw bunches of the fur. You have to make sure that you're feathering when you're drawing. That means the strokes that you're using on your brush or your pen is in a way in which you can understand that there's large groups of fur in that direction or in that part of the body. You want to make sure that you don't add too much texture to the dog, because then remember, depending on what your style is, it can actually clash what you're doing. It can be very distracting. Almost like if you want to draw something from a comic versus a real life illustration or a realistic illustration, there'll be a lot less detail, but more of a nuance on how the comic book way of doing things are. Understanding you do not draw every detail, you actually just hint at ideas, such as with the eyes. You don't always draw the complete eye. Sometimes you have a gap where the eyelid is open, but it's actually a shorthand or something that looks a little better for the comic aesthetic. If you're drawing something more realistic, you almost draw every strand, all the bits of textures, and you can understand the detail very well. Depending on what you're drawing, it's going to definitely determine on how you're going to design your dog, your cat, whatever that animal is. A part of this challenge was to really test myself on something I haven't really worked on much. I may have drawn a dog my whole life, maybe 3. This would be the 3rd or 4th time. I wanted to make sure that the foundation I have for my art style actually was suitable for me to draw other things. Sometimes it's good to challenge yourself and see what you can do. Understand that a dog's body is a little different. So there's different joints and bends that you want to make sure that you use, especially around the paw area. A human's hands are made for grabbing and holding, while dogs' paws are made for walking. A lot of people have a dog in their home, while others have family members and friends who have dogs. So you want to pay attention to those little details, and those little details add up. Also, when I was drawing this more futuristic dog, I wanted to make he or she had bandages, had some kind of dog tag, dogs with a dog tag, and had a more of a militaristic or armor feel to the dog. And the thing is, I wanted to make sure that you realize that this dog had to go through some things. It didn't have the easiest life, but I wanted to still make sure it looks cool. I used dog bones for the eye patch, and I wanted you to really understand that you can add character to any kind of animal, any kind of building or structure. Just make sure that it's you and that people can recognize your work. If you notice, anytime I do these kind of challenges, I like to add a little bit of a twist to it. I want to make sure that you understand that the construction of whatever I draw will have my style in it. Plus, you can learn from it and understand how you can do the same thing. You might be really good at drawing circles. Maybe you will have some kind of circle design, whether this is in the collar or a different part of the dog. Realize how you can add your influence to make it more unique and recognizable. A small challenge that I had was understanding how I wanted to add the shadows for the fur. And the reason why I said that is because you can't really go too far with the shadows. You have to make it very subtle, understanding that you do not want to add too much feathering or details in the shadow, but you want to hint at where the light is coming from. This is in the day, which translates that a shadow can move, and you can place the light source from different directions. The golden retriever to the left was just going to be a normal, simple one, but the golden retriever to the right was going to make you do a double take and ask yourself, why does it look like this and what is the story behind it? And that's a really good contrast where you can show people the differences in your story or just in your challenge where you want people to understand exactly what you're doing. So what did I do when I was coming up with this dog idea? First, I came up with the reference. Then I wanted to understand what I wanted the dogs to have. And then I wanted to add a little twist to it. When I added my twist, I realized that I had to color it. At first, I didn't know if I was going to color this illustration or if I was going to keep it very simple. I'm glad that I did, and I like the results. Now that we're wrapping up the video, I'm just going to show you some of the behind the scenes, the breakdown, how we was actually able to make this video and how long it took. Question of the day, what is your favorite dog breed? Let us know in the comment sections below. Like the video and share the video. Smash that subscribe and elbow, like real elbow drop that notification bell because you want to be notified when we upload these videos, because you want to be a part of each and every conversation. Check out some of the other videos on the channel and we'll catch you in the next one.